All right, I'll go ahead and restart recording just so that we can go through some of these updates. So we'll start with item 5, which is litter RFP. We don't need a vote on it, but I did want to let commissioners know that we did issue an RFP for the street cleaning services for 2023. We've been with Clean Slate for, I think, 2 years now. And they've been, okay, and they include some weeding and some power washing. We continue to get complaints from businesses and from commissioners about not fully cleaning around the garbage cans or the can liners. And when we issued this RFP in 2020, we only got one bid, and that was from Clean Slate. So this year we're RFPing it again for 2023. We'll see if we get some additional bids this time. We've sent it to some additional companies that have started sort of taking on these types of contracts. The deadline to submit for firms is December 16th, and the RFP is on our website at rpba.org. So we'll, hopefully get more than one bid next time and award a contract for 2023 once we see bids. But there's not really anything commissioners need to do at this time, other than if you know somebody that might be interested in bidding, let them know about the RFP. Any questions from anybody on that?
No,
my big complaint is the liners.
Yeah.
That's a complaint to give to your alderwoman and your streets and sanitation superintendent.
Oh, okay. That's not Clean Slate. That's those guys, right?
No, what we ask the guys to do when they pick up trash is to top off the cans. So a lot of times, people put their bags on there from their home and that kind of thing, and we take that out, but we're not responsible for emptying those cans. So the city, when they come out and empty the cans, when they take the cans out, should clean up underneath them, and they never do.
No, they don't. Okay.
But that's not our guys.
Noted. What's next on the agenda?
So next up is the update on the tuk-tuks, our long-awaited tuk-tuks. I finally have permits.
Yay.
It's a dang miracle. So, oops, I see Mohammed Aniz was joining and then he went away. I was just about to let him out of the waiting room. He disappeared.
sorry,
Anyway.
I have a I have a request. Can we do, if we have budget, can we do extra pickup for garbage? Maybe like a big garbage we can advertise if people wants to throw their big stuff. They can do one day. So we can have like 4 or 5 dumpsters at selected corners.
Like for bulk pickup? Like furniture and stuff?
Like furniture and big stuff, because people, they have a lot of stuff which they want to throw out there. And if they don't get the place to dump, they just leave in the alleys or somebody's front of somebody's house or any construction site. The main problem is the construction site. Somebody is renovating their house. So, I mean, evening time dumpster is there and the morning time is all full. So
yeah, I know fly dumping's been an issue that I've heard from businesses, in the alleys, people leaving mattresses and couches and stuff like that. I mean, it seems like it's not really coming from businesses, but probably from nearby apartment residents.
Yeah, that's correct. So if we have budget, we can at least say to the advertising on the Devon that we have a big pickup this day. If you have anything extra, just throw in those specified dumpsters only.
Yeah, I think, and Sandy, feel free to jump in. I'm not sure how permitting for that would work. If we would have to get like a public way use for just the one day, right? Yeah. Once we identify the locations, unless we figure out private property where they could be placed.
And how do we ensure that it's just the businesses that are throwing stuff in those dumpsters? I mean, you're probably going to have people taking crap out of their houses, and is there? Sanhisha, do you know of businesses that are trying to get rid of stuff?
No, not the businesses. The problem is that people, I'm talking about residential people, but they are giving that problem to the businesses because they keep the stuff and back, especially in the alleys. And then because I have like 4 or 5 businesses here, and every time we have to call somebody to pick up that garbage. In the evening time, night time, when the businesses close, these residential people, they just keep their extra stuff there.
Yeah, I just don't know that us doing that once is going to change anything. I think that we need to, instead of making it easier for them, I think maybe we need to discourage the fly dumping. So you know that there's on the 311 website, the city service website, they can report fly dumping. And I think if they consistently report the fly dumping and maybe call the alderwoman's office or streets and sanitation, that they can get some people out there. Do you know if there are cameras there? So do they know who's doing it?
It's very hard in the nighttime when it's very dark, or you don't know. There are so many houses there, so many apartments there. You don't know who is doing that. I don't
Right.
think
But
it's
if there are
feasible.
cameras, they would know.
People don't want to make enemies.
Well, they can report it on 311 anonymously.
It's not going to happen. Sometimes people, they call 311, but it's a long wait. Plus, nobody wants to call. I one time, it's not Chicago, it's in Lincolnwood. I called police because the guy has parked. They blocked my driveway, and since then I made a mistake. And since then, those people, they are calling for everything. So I don't want to make any enemies. Same with the other people too. They don't want to make any enemies. Maybe one time, if we have extra budget, we can have the big dumpsters so people can at least throw their garbage there, just to keep the Devon clean.
We can look into it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know from having worked in other communities that that's something that some of the suburban municipalities do, usually in the spring around like move out time. Like Evanston always used to do it like when Northwestern would have move out, because otherwise people would just be dumping sofas all over the place. I'm not aware of other SSAs doing it. I mean, it's certainly something that we can look into, but I think my big concern with it would just be the permitting process for getting dumpsters placed. Because as I was just about to get into on the tuk-tuk update, getting the permits for the tuk-tuks, we applied in early July. I just got the permits on Friday, and they were $400 each. So a total of $4,000 for the 10 tuk-tuks, but we have permits now, so that's exciting. I just don't know, you know, I would, the thing that worries me about trying to do a bulk dumpster program would be getting those type of public way use permits for however many dumpsters for one day or one weekend. They are expensive, and the process to get those permits takes a very long time, as we now know. But it's, you know, it's an idea to look into for sure. Sunita, thank you for bringing that up.
Okay.
All right. I think we have a quorum now that that Jay and Ramiz have joined us. So I'll go back to agenda item 1 and call the meeting to order. It's 2:44. Next up, public comment. Does anyone have public comment to share? Oh, Avi's joining. Awesome. Anybody have anything new for public comment? Going once, going twice. All right. Seeing none, agenda item 3, approval of the minutes from the September meeting. We did not have quorum for October. So the meeting minutes that I sent around to commissioners on Friday were from September. So we would just need a motion to approve those.
A motion to approve.
I do the
Right.
second.
Yeah, count me third.
Aye, Avi.
All right. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, approved.
Aye.
Yes.
Pete, aye.
All right, item 4, the mural funding request from Croatian Cultural Center. So Even is here to speak to that request. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and if you want to screen share, just let me know. I can stop screen sharing and, if necessary, make you a host if you have stuff that you want to show.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah, how to set it up so that you can see me. I don't really have anything in particular to show. I sent like some pictures. I could like show you artwork that I have lying around the house if you wanted proof that I could paint. The mural would be 52 feet long and 13 feet high. I was thinking it'd be the rectangular section facing Devon. There's 3 other sections facing Devon between some faux columns. I didn't think that we'd put anything between those. Those are 20 feet by 11 feet. Unless they wanted to put other like, you know, like scenic murals in those sections. But I was thinking we would just be using that one large section in the back. It would just be, I would assume we would use Dubrovnik. It's or Dubrovnik is usually how people pronounce it. It's, you know, one of the most famous cities in the country. It's one that everybody can agree on culturally, that it's a, you know, a great landmark. They've used it in movies like Jamie Foxx's Robin Hood, and I can't remember that. There's a show, I think it's called Game of Thrones, and then, you know, some other medieval type movies and things like that. It's really beautiful scenery. I think whatever angle we went with, or whatever shot we went with, it would be gorgeous, and it would be just, you know, it would be a beautiful thing to have drive by on Devon. And I think the general idea is people are pretty proud of. Oh yeah, that's one. So
Yeah.
that's not actually Dubrovnik, but that was just ideas.
Yeah.
Like,
This is what Nick had sent me, so sort of, you know, cityscapes.
Yeah, I don't think it's either of those. Oh, so that's like a street one. So that's Dubrovnik. But obviously I choose something that's more panoramic. But yeah, just most people in Europe know us just for, you know, our beautiful clear waters and the architecture and the seascapes. So it's kind of like a,
I'm sorry to interrupt, a photorealistic mural of this town. And it would be across, how many feet did you say it was?
52 feet across, 13 feet high.
And that would be the whole mural would occupy that whole space? I didn't follow.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And that's the front on Devon.
Yeah, it's well, I think the front faces Mozart technically. I don't know. I mean, the side that faces Devon. So the side without doors.
All right, the side on Devon is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be the entire side. There's these 3 column sections
Right,
that are inside columns, but then the last big section, I think the building used to be a supermarket before they converted it into a banquet hall and cultural center. So it's pretty long, and it would be pretty large, at least
Okay.
lengthwise.
What about those other spaces then? With columns?
I guess, I mean, if there's interest in filling those in after they see the first one, I don't know, I'd be happy to do more. Maybe the center would fund those, or I don't know.
That could be interesting because they're framed, kind of, right? They're
Right, yeah. So I mean, we could do other like
a window.
scenic shots, you know, of other areas. Something that would be like, you know, that wouldn't like, you know, that everybody would kind of like, and it wouldn't be culturally inappropriate in any way. Just kind of beautiful scenery.
So you don't have a specific image for us now, right? You just in general.
No, I mean, if it did get approval, I would make like a smaller painting version, and then, you know, you can to submit for your approval, and to show the center, like the center board, and see if they're okay with it. But I just sent some photos Again, I could do any style. I could do photorealism, so I'm assuming that's what they kind of want to go with, probably.
And scaling it up like this is not a problem for you? You've done big.
No, yeah. I've so I started publicly doing artwork for when I was 16 or 15 with Gallery 37. They gave me like kind of like larger panels to paint on. Sometimes they would request me to copy like Van Gogh's or other things like that would be in public spaces, or do like they'd have me do a bunch of faces, like a multicultural mural. And then I've done things for some private people. This would be the largest one I've done lengthwise. But I know I could do it because I've done things in. So I did a Aztec themed one for Chicago Public School, Goethe Elementary. I did their whole side of their cafeteria wall, but I had the students cooperate with that. So it wasn't all me, but I kind of like oversaw them and gave them an idea, and they kind of contributed their little parts.
Quick question I have is, you're gonna make it collage and paint it, or it's gonna be printed?
It's just paint. So no mosaic, no mixed media. I would just buy acrylic paint.
And you're gonna be like making as a collage of all the pictures?
No, just I would make like one nice landscape. I'd kind of like get our general idea of which view people like the best, and at the center, I'd paint a smaller version of it to show, to see if it meets your approval, and I'd throw it up on a large scale.
Can we like have something like, it's my idea, I don't know about others if they want to do it. I would prefer to do like landmarks of individual Central Asia and Western countries landmarks and make a collage out of it. So that will be like more diversifying image to portray on the Devon, you know?
I would argue that this is the Croatian Cultural Centers. I think they want to represent Croatia.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I would be happy to do a collage mural with multiple cultures on it. That would be fine with me. I don't know if I would get approval from the Croatian Cultural Center board though, because they kind of wanted.
Oh, it's actually going on
they
their
want
wall.
like one shot of something that looked really. What they had requested for me is not to do a collage of various things from Croatia. They just wanted one nice landscape painting.
Oh, I understand. I got it.
I say we go for it. This is probably as good as we're gonna get, and I love these. They're beautiful. If you paint a nice big mural like that, it would be nice. Look good.
Yep, this one is good. Yeah.
Great. And I'm just looking through this email to see if he had quoted me, or even if you remember, you know, what was the dollar amount requested? Oh, 1,400. 14,000 rather, is what's in the email that Nick, or that you had sent previously, I think. Is that still like the amount that we're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, he asked me to just throw out a ballpark figure. I was trying to estimate how much the cost of supplies would be, how much time I'd have to take off work. I'm an arborist for a company called Save a Tree. So I'd have to, I'm not a full-time artist, so I'd have to take time off my arborist work. So there's a few factors with that, but then also I was going to rent like a little lift that, you know, you could like kind of with little controls. So it'll be more quickly I could move up and down.
Cool. I'm just going to pull up on Google Maps, like just so that we can all look at the building right now.
I've just added Croatia to my bucket list. Gosh, those pictures
Yeah,
are gorgeous.
For sure.
Yeah, I've been there a few times personally. I was part of a folklore group, so I performed there, the cultural dances, and it was an amazing you know, all around, it's got a lot of amazing landscapes for such a small country.
I was trying to put in,
So this would be
Address.
the back.
yeah,
That would be the alley on the other side.
yeah, that is the alley on the other side. I'm trying to put my little dude on Devon here. Here we go.
There you
Oh,
go.
there's the fence.
Yep.
So it's down there. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so we've got the sort of framed blocks along this frontage on Devon, and then the biggest one is the one at the end. So that's where
Yeah.
we're looking at putting it.
And I measured
Yeah,
it.
so this,
So it's pretty long. It's 52 feet long.
yeah, so it's 52 and 52 foot is just this section, not the whole building.
Not the whole building, just that section.
Okay, so it's just this section at the corner of, what street is this? Yeah, so it's
That should
basically
be
the,
Francisco on the backside. And then,
Mozart, right?
the front of the other street is Mozart. I think Francisco is on the other on that side.
yeah,
So it should
'cause
be
it's
Francisco and
one way
Devon.
going north
Yeah, it's
on the other
Francisco.
side.
Oh,
Yeah.
Francisco. Is there any way to plan for the whole front? Can we plan that?
Yeah, I mean, we could do
And it all
different
tied together.
scenes. That'd be fine if you wanted different scenes in between the columns, the full columns.
Do they want it all done?
I'd have to ask. I mean, they probably wouldn't. I just they probably wouldn't be adverse to it. I mean, I could probably still. I could work with that with the same budget.
I mean, it would look, if you tied it all in as one long mural, that would really pop. That would be great. Versus a bunch of.
Well, I would do different scenes in between the columns because the columns will kind of interrupt it. But maybe if you could like pretend you're looking through columns and it's one long scene,
Right, like you're looking through a balcony or something, or.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Although the length gets kind of hard then. I guess I would have to like put together a really large panoramic then.
Yeah, you could do kind of a fisheye, you know?
Yeah.
You want to do perspective. I don't know, just spitballing here, but it would be nice if we can thread the whole thing into one instead of separate pieces. It would, but you know, I'll take what I can get, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd have to run that by them, I guess.
How does everyone else feel about that?
I feel good.
I like it.
Me too. I like it too.
Do you like the idea of trying to look into possibly making one longer one that ties it all in instead of smaller?
Yeah,
I think we should. Go ahead.
oh no, I like that idea. If we could do that, that would be my preference. But if not, then
Yeah, that's the way I feel.
How long does this take, by the way? What's the time frame?
I think Yvonne had to walk away.
Oh, yeah, let's give him a minute here.
Yeah. Yay, we're getting paintings. Yvonne, how long is this project going to take, do you think, if you got a painting?
I don't know, a couple weeks at least if it's just the last square, but the last rectangle, maybe it'll take longer if I'm doing all three.
Would you be willing to ask if you can do the whole front straight across?
Yeah, I could ask.
It would be cool. And it's a wedding, it's a cultural center. You probably have a lot of weddings there, right? In fact, I've been to a couple there.
Yeah, there's weddings there and not just, Hmong Croatians, other people rent it out.
Right. How about like a cool wedding scene in the village, like spread across there? That would look cool. I don't know. All right. I won't art direct you, but if you can look into, I think it would be great if we can tie the whole thing into one mural, if that's possible.
I think we need a motion.
I have
Yeah.
one of my paintings behind me. Here's this is just an example of my daughter who I just recently.
Oh, she's cute.
Neat painting.
What do we need, what are we motioning on an approval of this, or are we motioning?
Yeah, do we want to, I mean, you're the commissioners, you can make whatever motion that you want. The most obvious would be, motion to approve the $14,000 request for this mural. If somebody wants to make a different motion for something else, you're obviously empowered to do that as commissioners, but.
What do you think, Jay?
Are they asking us for the full 14,000 or a partial, or what's the ask right now?
The ask that was originally shared with me was 14,000.
So they want us to cover the entire mural, or?
Is that the full budget of the project, even, or is
if it's
CCC matching?
especially if it's across the whole front, I think, yeah, that would be for time and for supplies. If we're just doing the last rectangle, I'd be willing to come down on that.
Can you do 14 grand for the whole front?
Yeah, I that's reasonable. But I could, if it doesn't fit your budget, then maybe we could just do that last 52 feet for a lesser price if you guys don't have that in the budget.
I want to do the whole front.
I think the whole front would look better too.
Yeah. I'm making a motion. I want a motion to approve this. That's what they go for.
And what are you approving, and how much money are you approving?
$14,000 budget for this mural across the whole front of the building on the Devon side. I mentioned that.
Do we have any samples we can look at of work that you've done, if that's possible, or anything that?
They just held up that.
Yeah, I could just send you some more via email.
Yeah, if you could, I mean, if you could share it now while we're all on the call, we could probably get that.
Yeah, I can stop screen sharing if that's easier.
Yeah, if you've done anything outdoors that we can kind of get an idea of,
Oh, I mean, I don't have anything like outdoor. I was just saying I have some things like flying around here. Like I held this up. This was like one I did to my daughter, and like I have just like these are rocks and flowers. There's a painting I did behind me. I don't know what else I have lying around. I could.
If you've got any photos of the project that you did at for CPS, the elementary school one, that might be good. Yeah.
Unfortunately, don't. But I could email you just photos of my artwork. Most of the stuff was commission work, so I don't have a lot lying around.
Have you painted? Sorry, have you painted on this exterior wall before? Any type of exterior walls?
Yes. When I was that was the one I mentioned, was for CPS. I did two for them actually. One in a cafeteria and one on an exterior wall. The cafeteria one was like food based, themed. I think it was kind of like more farm rural type thing. Well, no, actually, no, it's just like food in general. And then I've done stuff for churches. That's a frequent one that people request for me, so I could send you a larger life size.
Do you have the school that you did for CPS? Maybe we can just pull it up on Google Maps right now. Something exterior. I just want to take a look at the work, if you don't mind, before we approve it.
And then I did one for animals with animals in a daycare. I could send pictures of that too.
I have a question regarding the weathering. Now I'm concerned about like painting, and then the painting gets weathered real quick, and so.
Well, that's why I would use acrylics, like higher end acrylics. They hold up.
They'll hold up.
One question that I have, I know my colleague Anna usually is the person that works with folks on murals and public art, but anti-graffiti coating is sort of another consideration for murals, especially that are outside and at street level.
Okay.
Is that something that you've worked for or comfortable working with?
Yeah, I could. I've never used it, but if there is, I guess I'm kind of uneducated on anti-graffiti coating, but happy to add that on.
Is it like a Scotch guard?
Oh, yeah, basically like a Scotch guard, you can say.
like a Scotch guard.
Interesting.
I'm gonna, my motion's on the table. I motion to approve this. I will say, pending, what, did you want to see more artwork, Jay? You want-
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to see if he's done anything outdoors, you know, if it's gonna hold up or, you know,
Right.
painting
I
exterior walls.
honestly don't have a lot of experience outdoors. I've done large things, but usually it's in indoors.
Indoors.
But Pete, that does, sorry, Junaid here. I think Pete has a valid question there. How does it stand outside? I mean, with the paint, and does it mess up fast, or does it, I mean, what happens with that thing? How many years can you guarantee us that it will stay like that, or, you know, without anybody vandalizing it, obviously, but besides that, how long would you think would it last?
I believe like the acrylics I use would last well beyond our lifetime. I mean, none of the paintings I've ever done have faded at all, and I don't think sunlight would. They've been in a lot of different environments.
Even indoor is different than outdoor, right?
And it's the north side of Devon. It doesn't get any sun.
But yeah, outdoor is different than, you know, indoors. So just from your experience, as you say, you don't have much experience for outside. You know, there's a lot of obstacles that you might have to face.
Technically, these paints are high-end acrylics. They would hold up to harsh conditions.
I think it sounds good.
So I guess like, in theory, I would use what they would use for exterior. So yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I don't have any concrete proof.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, that's, you painted before, you know about painting. Research that. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, I just I don't have like I don't have like a mural I did outside from like 20 years ago that I could just say here. So
no, that's fair. But you can scale this up. You can give us a sample.
Never, you know, like faded or cracked or anything like that. On as far as I know. So, and again, the paints that we're using would be either Liquitex or Golden, one of the higher end brands that I know Chicago Public Mural Works uses. So I don't see why they wouldn't hold up.
People, we need a mural. This has been dragging out forever. Let's get a mural. This guy wants to do a mural. I say
we prove, if we don't have any proof or like artwork examples from him, we approve one and at a lower cost. And if that works out nice and everybody likes it, you know, he'll get the second and the third.
Well, let's see the sample. He's going to paint one. You said, right?
He's going to paint one on canvas, the small size, not on the wall.
Right. So we can see it.
Okay, that's still not the same.
No.
And also on the wall is like 35 feet, 32 feet by 13 feet. That's
email
pretty
you
huge.
examples of my artwork, and then you guys could vote without me at the next meeting. I'd be fine with that.
And can I just share regarding the longevity of the murals? We have done a lot of murals along the CTA Red Line tracks that have been done by a lot of different artists, and they're all holding up really, really well. I think the oldest is 25 years old, and we haven't replaced any of them except when the CTA wall crumbled.
I'm really not worried about the longevity. They're all using this oil-based paints, and they you know, everybody uses
actually, I'm
pretty
not
much
using
the
an
same thing.
oil-based paint. It would be acrylic-based. It's actually
Acrylic.
would be much better than using an oil-based.
Better.
paint.
Okay, so they're all using the same thing. So the last thing is, I don't think there's gonna be an issue. I'm not worried about. That's the least thing I'm worried about.
So Pete, your motion could be that you want to approve the mural once the
artwork's
once the sample is submitted and everybody approves it, and we could just once we get that, we could just send it out to everybody.
Yeah.
And of course, if it's not approved, we would pay, you know,
right. I motion to have Ivan, how do you pronounce your name? Ivan? Or
Ivan.
Ivan?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, Ivan we'll submit a artwork and we'll be pending approval on the full mural after that submission. And if there's a cost to that submission, we should for that. How's that, Ivan?
So I'll paint like a smaller scale of what would go on the wall, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my motion. Is that good? Does that sound good, Devon?
That's fine with me.
Do I hear a second on this?
Pete, this is for the whole wall, right?
No, this is, well, we're approving
him to just do a sample for us.
make an example, a sample one for us, and then we will approve that one.
And also I have to ask.
Do you want to wait? Do you want to wait another month then for the approval?
I'm sorry,
Mind
Yvonne.
you, we don't have a regular meeting in December. It would be the January meeting.
I'm sorry, Yvonne.
Oh, no, this takes too long.
That's
Let's do it
fine. I
now.
don't mind waiting until January.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's probably too cold to be painting out there anyway.
But your approval,
so
your
I'd
approval
also
could
have
be
to ask,
contingent upon the design.
So
You can approve.
it might be for just 52 feet, or if it was the whole wall, that's going to be 112 feet basically. So that doubles the amount of area, because between each column is 20 feet. So it's 52 feet for the last rectangle, then 20 feet between each column, which is fine. I just have to ask if they're okay with that, the board.
Right. Okay, so you're going to come back to us with that answer. I want to approve somehow a budget for the whole mural, and then we can work out the details as we go. Meaning, we can look at your artwork, we can discuss all that. But in the meantime, I'd like to go ahead and approve the budget for this mural. That's what I want to. That's what I want to make a motion on. I want to lock this down.
So let's just rephrase it together. I guess so I guess I'll make a motion to approve 14,000 for the whole wall that goes on the Devon Avenue side, contingent on we approve the design prior to going forward.
I like it. I'll second that motion.
I third that motion.
Yes.
Yes.
Junaid, yes.
Avi, yes.
All right.
All right, I have Jay making the motion, Pete seconded, and all in favor, it looks like. That was everybody?
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you. Great.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you.
I'll have it ready for you for January. What's the date?
Yeah, let me look at the calendar. Because we are usually the third Monday of the month, but that might fall on MLK for January. So let's look. So that would be the 16th, which is MLK. So we'll need to. I think it makes sense, to have it be on the January meeting. I mean, because we don't typically have a regular meeting in the month of December just because it's difficult to schedule, and that's when we do our annual at year-end sort of celebration meeting. But yeah, so it looks like the usual third Monday date falls on the 16th, but that's MLK Day, so it'll probably move to either the 9th or the 23rd for January. Okay. And once we figure that out, I'll let you know. That's something that we should discuss before the end of this meeting, which those days we want to do. But
I'm fine either way.
Okay, we'll definitely let you know. I'll make sure you have a calendar invite.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You could just log me out, I guess, or do I just log out? Or
yeah, you can just leave. You can hit the leave meeting button if you want.
1 second.
Oh yeah,
Yvonne.
there's a leave button. Okay.
Hey,
yes.
Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to ask you, do you think what's the weather like that you would need it to be at the paint? Do you have an idea on that, or?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be like ideal weather. I'd hope to start in the spring, if that's okay.
Okay, so we're looking at starting then. Okay.
I wouldn't want to wait till summer. It gets really busy
thinking
for me
like
at work in the summer. So
March, April, maybe.
yeah, so even if it's like 50s or 60s, I'm fine with that.
All right, thank you for your time.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. I'll have samples next week. I mean, in 2 months.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
All right, let me get back to the agenda for everybody.
I love getting things done. Let's get.
I know.
Good. All right.
Yeah, this is why we need a quorum. So thank you everybody for being here so that we can have a quorum to vote on that and move it forward. Section 5, we already sort of talked about this a little bit. Litter RFP, for those that were here right at the 2:30 hour. We are issuing an RFP for our litter pickup contracts for 2023. When we last bid this in 2020, Clean Slate was the only proposal that we got. So we are hoping to get more this year. So it's more of a competitive field. So that RFP is live. It's on our website at rpba.org. Responding firms have until the 16th of December to submit their proposals. And then we'll look at them, look at pricing, look at references, and make the decision. We're including several more SSAs. So it's not just going to be SSA 43. The RFP also covers, I think, 19 and 24. So we'll see what kind of responses that we get. And because we know that, we've had issues with, not cleaning around the can liners and, missing some stuff. So, hopefully we'll get some competitive bids. I've reached out to other SSA managers to see who they're using. I've gotten some names of some additional companies that are active in this space now. So we'll see what we get. But if you have anyone that you know of that might be interested in bidding, definitely point them our way, because the RFP is live for another couple of weeks. Any questions on that before we move on? All right. Tuk-tuk project. We have permits now. Remember, I applied for those public way use permits for the statues in early July, and we just got the approval on Friday, and we paid the fees. So it was $400 for each tuk-tuk times 10, so a total of $4,000 in just permitting. But we are gonna try to aim to do the installation and unveiling in early spring, weather permitting, of course. One of the things that I wanted to talk with you all about was that one of the dates that we were looking at, because it falls on a weekend, is, we were looking at Eid, which falls in April this year. Do we think that would be a good time, or should we try to find another time? Because we tried to be sensitive to, not conflicting with, any religious observances, but, since Eid is such a time of celebration and a lot of people are on Devon, maybe that would be a good time to do it. But I wanted to bring that to this group before we commit to a date.
I defer to people that have a better understanding of that than I do, but I'm up to put them up as soon as possible. But it would be nice to tie it in with the event.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Eid is a better time to do that because a lot of people are on demand. It's gonna be a good activity for them to be a part of.
But Cindy, is that going to be like the full blown with rental tuk-tuk driving around also, or just the artwork?
I mean, I think, at a minimum, we would aim to get the artwork, out in the wild by then, so that, because we want to pick a date early so that we can get press releases out and market it appropriately. So I think at a minimum, it would be that would be the unveiling of the artwork. But, I think ideally, we would include the tuk-tuk rides if we could get that going.
Party.
I don't know, with traffic and stuff like that, it might not be the greatest of ideas, especially on the west side of, or the east side of Western.
Okay.
Is it the
Regarding the
same?
tuk-tuk rides, Urshad, or regarding the art?
I mean, I'd be concerned about both just because you have the chance of somebody damaging it, or, you know, it gets pretty crowded on your side. So maybe just, you know, avoid it or do it after that is my thought.
I agree with Earshot on that. It's pretty busy.
Mhm. We don't want them to look old after 1 week. They're gonna get a lot of wear and tear that week.
You kind of want them when they're busy, though, don't you? I mean, don't you want them out there when they're busy? When it's busy, you want people to see them and take pictures and.
I agree, but you know, it might be too hectic. I mean, at that time, I mean, maybe we do some of them and launch, you know, on the slower side, and then just do Claremont to Bell on a different date.
What other dates would you have in mind? Would we have in mind?
Can we just split them up? Like, you know, have them ready on one side of Devon at that time, and then add the others on the week after. I don't think it's a big deal. I think we need to get them up as soon as possible.
I think I'm gonna side with Pete on this one. Put them up as soon as possible.
All right. So maybe we do it earlier in April. So it's still Ramadan at that point. But then they're up when Eid comes around.
That'd be nice, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm just saying, don't put them up brand new the day of Eid or whatever, so they get trashed. But yeah, I guess if it's out for a couple of weeks.
Okay. I'd like to have them up like during that whole time. That would be nice. If the families come through, they see them, they take pictures.
Yeah, they'll stand there, they'll take pictures. I mean, it'll publicize it itself, kind of.
I think it's fine as long as you don't put them up that weekend. I think introducing them that weekend is a mistake, as we said.
Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
maybe we put them up and then we schedule like the tuk-tuk rides like sometime later on in the spring when we have the better weather. Oops, I'm hearing dinging from, I think, someone's car. All right, well, thank you. I will check in then with Big Buzz and our marketing team, and we will identify a target date other than that weekend of Eid. Earlier being preferable. So like earlier on in the month of April, we'll take a look at the calendar dates again to make sure that we're not overlapping with any other events or religious observances, but thank you for that feedback. That's important, and that's why I wanted to bring that up at this meeting. So thank you. 2022 annual meeting. So this is every year we do it in place of the regular December meeting. We invite commissioners and interested businesses and members of the public to instead join us for an in-person annual meeting where my colleague Carolina and I do a presentation Q&A on sort of what the key accomplishments of all of our SSAs have been this year, what we've been up to, plans for next year. And you know, we usually provide like breakfast refreshments because it's usually in the morning. This year we're still working on like confirming our venue. It's most likely going to be either at our grow office on Clark Street or at our Maker Studio Arts pop-up that we're doing on Howard Street right now. Technically, we rotate them around to different SSAs each year. Obviously, we were not in person during the pandemic, but this year is our first year back doing it in person since 2019. SSA 24 hosted it last time, so now it rotates back to SSA 19. So we're trying to get that ironed out, but it is going to be at 9 o'clock on Thursday, December 8th. And once we confirm the venue, we will be sending out invites to all of you guys as commissioners to join us for that meeting. It's a great, you know, opportunity to, you know, see other districts, meet commissioners from other SSAs, and sort of see what other SSAs are doing, and see if there's other stuff that, you know, we want to try and replicate in SSA 43. So save the date for that. And then even brought up a really good point about the January meeting, because if we are sticking with third Monday of the month, that'll be the first one of our meetings that runs into a holiday. So do we think we want to try and have that January meeting rather on January 9th, or do we want to push it back to the 23rd?
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Sunita, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I'm good either way. I think either meeting should be fine.
All right.
I won't be here for the 9th. I'll be traveling.
January, I won't be here. I'll be traveling to Pakistan.
For the whole month of January?
Yeah, for whole month.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also going to India in January 2nd to 2nd Feb.
So maybe we try for the 23rd, but we just will sort of know that. So Sunita's going to be gone. Ramiz is going to be gone. Jay, are you traveling the whole month?
No, I'll be back. I'm traveling back on the 9th.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
I mean, I might be
you'll
able
be
the airport.
probably good for the 23rd. Let's
Yeah,
aim for the
23rd.
23rd then. Okay.
23rd.
All right. That was everything that I had on the agenda. Does anybody else have anything to add before we adjourn?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yep. Thanksgiving.
All
Okay.
right. Have a great
Happy
break.
holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy
Hope to see
holidays.
some of you on the 8th. We'll send you around the information once we have it confirmed. But yeah, have happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you
too.
soon.
Okay.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Bye,
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.